Welcome to Bible Study with Fred. This morning we're still in Genesis 17. We're going to read 15 through 27, or I'm going to read 15 to 27, and we're going to study it. And God said unto Abraham, As for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall be her name be. And I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed, and said in his heart, Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear? And Abraham said unto God, Oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee, behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget. I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. And he left off talking with him, and God went up from Abraham. And then Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin the selfsame day, as God had said unto him. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskins. In the selfsame day was Abraham circumcised, and Ishmael his son, and all the men of his house, born in his house, bought with money of the stranger, were circumcised with him. Now Sarai's name is now changed to Sarah. She's part of the covenant, the promise. Not only, by the way, you can read my comments in general on blogger.com. So not only will the son of promise come from Abraham, but will come through her as well. She will be the mother of nations, and kings of people will come from her. The idea that a 90-year-old woman, even in those ancient days when people lived much longer than they typically do now, and were youthful much longer than they typically are now, and would bear a child was preposterous. Abraham was so overtaken by the idea that he fell on his face and laughed in front of God. He said nothing about his astonishment out loud, but then said aloud the hope that Ishmael, who was already with him, would be the one promised to him. The phrase said in his heart is used dozens of times to indicate private thoughts. We do not say thought in his brain when discussing things of a fundamentally private or emotional nature. We use phrases like, my heart tells me, or say that someone is kind hearted. God then insisted that Sarah would bear a son and that his name would be called Isaac, which means appropriately in the Hebrew, according to Strong's dictionary, he laughs. God knows what you think, as this is stated several times in the Bible from Genesis 6:5, 1 Chronicles 28:9, Job 42:2, Psalm 94:11, Psalm 139:2, etc. Note that God stated he established his covenant with Isaac. Ishmael will be taken care of, and this is part of God's grace and kindness in spite of the circumstances under which Ishmael was conceived. But God reinforces that the covenant will be executed through Isaac. Abraham then takes Ishmael and all the men of his household, regardless of where they were from, and circumcises them. The word stranger is used to denote a foreigner, an alien to a people who lives among the people. Genesis 15:13. And he said unto Abraham, Know of a certainty that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Genesis 17:12 said, And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations, he that is born in the house, or bought with any money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed. And Leviticus 24:22, You shall have one manner of law, as well for the stranger as one for your own country, for I am the Lord your God. Okay, that's all we're going to discuss now. I recommend you look up what Strong said about the meaning of Sarah's name. But we look and define things from the context of the text. So, because remember, as the old saying goes, a text without a context is a pretext. So anyway, thank you for watching, and look forward to talking to you again.